What's up, family? I appreciate y'all being here. Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Business Podcast. I'm your host, Thomas Sanders, and today I got a very special guest. Please help me welcome Tyler Hergott. Thanks for being here, man.
Dude, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, let's get into the first question. What and who inspires you?
Casey Neistat. I'd say in 2016, he popped off. I mean, he's been around for a while, but in 2016, I saw his videos, his vlogs, and I was like, that's the kind of videos I want to make. I love his method of storytelling. Every time I'd watch one of his videos, it was like 8 minutes of this is like the fastest 8 minutes of my life. I'd watch his videos and his storytelling and the candidness and rawness of his videos. I saw those and I was like, that's amazing. Next up would be D-Rock from Gary Vee. I'd see what he would create with Gary Vee, and I was like, I just want to be able to do that with people. And so over the course of years, that I feel like I've blended both of those kinds of filmmaking styles and document then create approach, and kind of turn that and taken some what. There was a series by Vanity Fair called 73 Questions that really got me into asking people questions on camera. Okay. And I have kind of turned that plus what Gary Vee does with some of what Casey Neistat does and blended a lot of that into its own kind of product where I take that and apply it towards everything I film.
I love that. So I didn't start in the film industry, but I did just recently get hip to Casey Neistat.
Yeah.
And I love it, man. I love his New York style vlogs and all his content. I just binge watch it sometimes. It's really amazing content that inspires me to also go out and create some of the same interesting angles and interesting things that he does and edits and everything like that. So 100%. I love that. The ultimate message, what would you say what the ultimate message would be in your creativity or that you like to express through your creativity?
The big message, I would say what I lean on a lot, and it's been my life's motto in the last 7 years, is baptism by fire. The best way to learn it for me has been just by doing, and then as you do it, you're going to learn what not to do, and that goes for everything. You might think that you want something and you get it and you realize I don't want that. And I think that's just as valuable as getting what you want. So taking that same concept and just going out and doing it, as cliche as it is, has been my motto lately, and I notice a lot of my growth professionally and personally has come from all the times that I am willing to go out and get burned and learn at the same time.
I agree with that. I'm in that right now. Just even doing this type of interview style podcast or just being in front of the camera, period, is being just thrown in the fire. So
that's cool, man.
I'm inspired by that answer. What do you say was the biggest sacrifice that you've made to obtain the success that you've had so far?
I would say one of the biggest sacrifices I've made has been the steadiness of a paycheck. Was one thing that initially came up. I was like, money. But I would say it's okay, so this might answer it. We'll see where this goes.
Let's go.
I am a hobby enthusiast. I collect hobbies. I interviewed a guy a while back, and he said he's a collector of hobbies, and I was like, that is so true. And I get into a lot of things, and I have all the way back, let's take it back 10 years. I started picking up, probably 12, 15 years ago. I started doing magic tricks for fun, and then I started monetizing that by going to restaurants and doing magic tricks on family nights. And then I did that with balloon animals, and then I did that, and then I've done that with cameras. It kind of started off as a hobby, and then I monetize it. And so when I've monetized hobbies in the past, it kind of sucks a little bit of fun out of it. And so there is like a level of sacrifice is a harsh word for it, but there is like a level of like, it starts off so like out of curiosity of like, oh, I just kind of enjoy doing this. I like dabbling with this. But then you start making money off of it, and you have to treat it differently, because
Yeah.
then it becomes, the camera is not just something I'm doing on the weekends or just kind of for fun. It's, okay, how can I make money doing this? How can I pay for the bills doing this?
Mm-hmm.
And then when your back's against the wall and you have to pay your bills, and you and you're like, okay, what do I have to work with? I've got this camera, this lens, these lights. Let's go sell something with it.
Yeah.
So there's an added pressure to it that kind of takes the fun out of it, but it's replaced with like a more fulfillment factor. So I think that might answer the sacrifice part. You're kind of sacrificing a little bit of fun
Yeah.
for long-term enjoyment.
No, I definitely hear what you're saying. It is sacrificial in a way, because it's not fun no more. It's creative, but the creative drive still fuels me. So even if it isn't fun, it's still something I can do to express creatively. So that's what keeps me kind of motivated. So
yeah.
All right, this is a different kind of curveball question. What's your theme song, man? So if you were walking on stage, or what song would be playing behind you?
My theme song, it's going to change seasonally.
Okay.
Let's go with let me pull up Spotify real
Okay,
quick.
go ahead,
Let me
go
see
ahead.
it real fast, because I feel like I've got a really good answer for this, but
Okay.
it's going to be, I'll be able to tell. Okay, so right now I would say my theme song is, this might be one I heard on TikTok that turned into, it's probably because it's Superhero by Metro Boomin, Future, Chris Brown. I don't know if this would be qualified as a theme song, but I sure like to think of myself when I'm walking around anywhere and that song starts.
Mm-hmm.
I always feel pretty cool when that song starts. So hopefully we can maybe play like the TikTok portion of it.
Yeah.
I would say that's probably my theme song right now, just because sometimes you need that main character energy when you're just walking around. And
Yeah.
that song gives you main character energy.
Okay. I'm gonna have to add that to the playlist.
I'd add it to the playlist.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got you. All right, what's a piece that you're most proud of?
Of anything?
Anything that you've ever created?
Man, that's going to be seasonally too. It's hard to put.
Yeah,
I'd say,
I know.
okay, so the first thing that just came to my mind was, so I helped a deck of cards get funded on a Kickstarter. I thought that was pretty cool, because I originally got into playing cards, and I was like, man, it'd be fun to make videos about playing cards. And then I was approached by a brand to create a deck of cards, like a trailer for a deck of cards, and it got like 200% funded, and it was just a fun experience to be able to just play. I didn't do it for money, and it was just fun to be able to like create something around a hobby that I'm just interested in, and not try to make money off of it. And so to see that and then see it get funded, I was pretty proud of that, because it was just it was a unique opportunity.
Yeah.
There's like a wide variety of, like, from a business perspective, there's like, I'd say there's a handful of videos. There's one that I made, so it was for a coach. He's my good friend now. His name's Brian. He's a business coach, and kind of introduced me to the philosophy of earning it, and like how you have to kind of like earn the right to do anything. So it is, it was a kind of it served as like an introduction video to who he is as a coach. But a lot of it unexpectedly kind of came together when we were walking on a trail, and he was like talking about how you have to earn the right to like appreciate the heart, like how difficult the trail is to even finish it. And he's an ultra marathon runner, and so I was able to tie in kind of what he does for fun and kind of like his passion into his business in a video, and it all kind of came together in post when I wasn't even expecting to be able to use any of the clips on the trail, because what had happened was he was just talking, and I was like, man, this is kind of a good soundbite. And I didn't have any microphone on the camera. It was just, you could hear the little like camera latches like like hitting up against the camera mic onboard mic. I had just fallen, and so I'm like limping when we're recording this, And so my gimbal's not even on, but the camera's on a gimbal. But I just ate it and crashed into the ground. So I'm like limping, but he's just talking. And so I'm recording it, and I was able to pull this audio that I kind of used throughout the piece. And he's had so much success from that video. He's able to land a variety of coaching clients from it. It's been one of my favorite pieces to create because it was one of the most authentic people that I've gotten to be around, like in the sense of like, he just didn't even like really pay attention if the camera was on or not. He was just like stream of consciousness. And so being able to be around people like that is inspiring, but it's also just fun because it was such a unique opportunity for me to create something for somebody that was kind of in a business setting, but not in a business physical setting. So like where it ended up being was just a good introduction piece to who he is, what he's about, what he likes. And it kind of came together accidentally off of no microphone setup, no lighting setup, just like candid interview.
Wow.
As we're just like walking and talking. And so it like reminded me that you could have all the lighting and all the best equipment, but unless you have a good story or a good subject, none of that could really matter. And so that was a good reminder for me to be paying attention to the stories of what people are telling you and finding those little bits within a story versus worrying about like, man, I don't have the latest prime lens. I don't have the latest Sony camera that just dropped. And I just used it there was mud on the lens. It was just, I'm ripped up my pants. It just like, it was an interesting morning because it started at like 5 o'clock too. So it was an early, and then it was a long day. So but I love that though. Like I can do it all day. So like kind of doing the day in the life of style videos give me so much energy because I get to like be around people that have been there, done that. And then I get to learn from that. And then out comes a piece of content that I get like, it's fun when you get inspired by your own content because you're just creating it about somebody and you're like, man, I'm motivated now.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, that was cool.
Yeah, man, I love that. Who would you want to play in the biopic of yourself?
Ashton Kutcher, because I was told I'd look like him. And I was like, that's the most flattering compliment that I think I could have ever received.
I see that, man. I definitely see that. I think he will play a very good version of you. That would be awesome. How do you want to be remembered?
As a helpful creative. If I can talk creative and talk shop with other creatives and have provided some level of value to somebody that might be starting up, that would be the main focus. That'd be it.
Man, well, that's why you're here today, man. I've definitely gained some value from this conversation, man. I appreciate you being here. You can tell the people how they can get in contact with you, your socials, and what you got coming up.
You can follow me at Producer Tyler on Instagram. You can follow me at Race Day Tyler on Instagram. I'm really into motorsports, so it's race season, so you'll see me creating dirt track racing content there. You can also find me at Cardistry Tyler. Is another Instagram handle where I get really into playing cards and all things cards. And that's what I've got coming up. Just check out Instagram. That's where it's at.
All right. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. We appreciate y'all being here. It's been another episode of Behind the Business Podcast. We'll see you on the next one.